this interesting dynamic between Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. Which, I don't know, it could potentially lead, it could generate enough tension to potentially lead to a change in direction on Trump's Gaza policy. This all started with a report in Axios, which was obviously leaked by the Israelis, that Donald Trump his team was directly negotiating with Hamas through their negotiator in Doha, Khalil al-Hayya. And this is a report by the Times of Israel. Trump defends direct U.S.-Hamas talks as Israel seethes, attempts to sabotage them. U.S. president says effort is aimed at releasing Israeli hostages. But Witkoff admits U.S. captives are priority and that Trump issued ultimatum after Hamas didn't play ball in meetings. So we heard Donald Trump explode and say all hell is going to break loose if Hamas doesn't do what he wants. That was the result of direct negotiations between Trump's negotiator, someone whose name is Adam Boehler, who worked for an Israeli tech company, incidentally, out of college. Don't know much about him, but he's Trump's hostage negotiator. New developments. I speculated that Israel was spying on the Trump administration and its diplomatic track. And now we're seeing openly Netanyahu try to push Donald Trump around. Top Netanyahu confidant lashed out at U.S. envoy over direct talks with Hamas. Strategic Affairs Minister Ron Dermer lashed out at U.S. hostage envoy Adam Boehler. This is the guy who's directly talking to Khalil al-Hayya in Doha about the dual citizens, American Israelis, who were taken captive on October 7th. During a phone call held Tuesday, a Western official tells the Times of Israel, Western official probably being a Trump official, possibly Adam Boehler. After Israel learned of an unprecedented meeting in Doha that the Trump aide held with the senior Hamas delegation led by Khalil al-Hayya to discuss the potential release of American hostages from Gaza. First of all, who is Ron Dermer? Ron Dermer is from Miami Beach. I think his father was the mayor of Miami Beach. Pretty sure he's still an American citizen, speaks with an American accent. He's been very close to Netanyahu since Netanyahu re-entered power in 2009. He's sort of like his American fixer. In many ways, he's one of his top advisors. And he is bullying and threatening an American administration as an Israeli, even though he's from the U.S. I mean, this says so much about what's wrong with Zionism and how Zionism has poisoned American politics, because you have a guy who's from America, born in the U.S., whose family is prominent in American politics, who wouldn't have been able to bully an American president as an American, who just goes and uses his privilege as an American Jew to get Israeli citizenship. And then as the advisor to a prime minister who got a minority of the vote of a country with a population of about 6 million people, can go thug it out against the leader of a country of 350 million people, a global superpower. This is just insane on its face. And how should Trump react to that? Does Trump like being pushed around? Does he like Netanyahu for doing this? This is creating unprecedented tension within the Trump administration, because the Israelis are trying to subvert a Trump initiative. Here's Ali Abunimah. I agree that, quote unquote, Israel likely leaked the news of the Hamas-US talks to embarrass Donald Trump and derail them. That prompted the latest belligerent anti-Palestinian statements from Trump and Witkoff. Perhaps Israel's meddling will work. Perhaps it will just antagonize Trump. I think the meddling will work, just given the pattern of Israeli meddling and how it has consistently moved Trump into line with Netanyahu's position and sometimes even beyond it, just to overcompensate. But this is certainly and privately antagonized Trump. But there's just one other point I want to make about this, which is what it says about the perspective of Donald Trump and his administration, which is effectively has been under the control of the Israel lobby as much or more than any other previous US administration. They know that Netanyahu is not serious about negotiating for the release of the remaining hostages. They clearly have acknowledged or tacitly acknowledged that Benjamin Netanyahu does not want to get to the second phase of the Gaza ceasefire negotiations because it will mean a full Israeli withdrawal from the Gaza Strip. Netanyahu doesn't want that. It would mean moving towards a permanent ceasefire. Netanyahu doesn't want that. There was an Israeli drone strike in Shujaiya, east of Gaza City, just today. Netanyahu wants to continue to attack Gaza and maintain a military presence in southern Lebanon as well. How is this a tacit acknowledgement by Trump that Netanyahu is not serious about getting the captives out of Gaza? Because there are two there who are dual US-Israeli citizens, and there's no way that Donald Trump would have broken the standard protocol of letting Israel lead these negotiations unless he knew that those Americans would have languished there forever because Netanyahu wouldn't get them out. And so it's created unprecedented tension between Tel Aviv and Washington. And it's now playing out openly because figures like Ron Dermer of Miami Beach, who serves Israel, are going to the media and are weaponizing the media against Donald Trump to try to meddle in US politics and bully Donald Trump into line with Netanyahu's obstructionist, rejectionist position on the ceasefire. Will Donald Trump become the ultimate Zio cuck after being attacked in the media? We'll just wait and see.